Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Joanna Walters, and I am one of the International Student Advisors here at Cardiff Met. Today, we will be going through our What to Know Before You Go webinar. So I hope you're all really excited and looking forward to starting your studies at Cardiff Met. We're just going to wait for a few more people to join the webinar, and then I will get started. Just so you know, the chat function on this webinar has been enabled, and one of our assistants, Marie, is in the background here. So if she sees anything that's a common trend in the questions that are coming in, then I will answer those at the end of the webinar. But yes, I'll just turn my camera off for a moment while we wait for a few more to join, and then we will get started. Okay, I'm going to get started now. Thank you for your patience. So for anyone that's just joined, my name is Joanna Walters, and I am one of the International Student Advisors here at Cardiff Met. We are very much looking forward to welcoming you in the next few weeks and months. And I hope your plans are going well as you prepare for your trip to the UK and to Wales, and of course to Cardiff Met. So I'm going to get started. So I hope you can all see my screen okay. There's a few things that we're going to cover today. So I'm going to introduce our international student support team. So that is the team that I work within. We're going to talk about settling into life in Cardiff, some university essentials that you need to know, some trips, events and opportunities that are available, where you can get help and support once you're here in Cardiff. And there'll be an opportunity at the end for any questions that you may have that I may have missed. So it's not going to take much of your time today, and this video will be available on YouTube later on this week. So if you miss anything or if you want to recap on anything, then that opportunity will be there for you. So, Croeso, welcome. That might be your first introduction to one of the words in Welsh. That is croeso, and that is welcome. So we are here, and that is our lovely team there in front of you, to help you all the way from starting your studies now, all the way through until graduation. So whether you've got questions, whether you need advice, or you aren't sure where to start, then we are the team that are going to be able to help you through that. You may have already chatted to some of our colleagues through the international arrival inbox, and we are very much look forward to welcoming you soon. So before you travel to the UK, so there's things that you might be starting to prepare now, and that's wonderful. So we're just going to talk through those things now for you. Just waiting for my screen to catch up. Okay, so first things first, what do you do once you've received your UK student visa and your flights are booked. So firstly, congratulations. I'm glad that your visa has been successful. If you are still waiting for your visa outcome, then please try not to worry, but do keep us updated on CAS Shield, where our colleagues can keep you informed about any latest arrival dates that may be an option. So the first thing that we would want you to do is to log back into your CAS Shield. So the first thing you might be thinking, if you've had an agent or someone helping you through this process, is what is CAS Shield? So CAS Shield is something that's a platform that is available for students or agents to communicate with Cardiff Met in order to get your CAS. If you are not aware of those details, please do obtain them from your agent before you come to the UK, because it's really important when you arrive in Cardiff and when you come to Cardiff Met that you've got your CAS Shield details. So it's a username and a password, and they will help you when you're here to enroll. So if you've got that information now, you can log in and upload your UKVI decision letter. You can confirm your flight details so that the team are aware of your arrival plans, and upload a copy of your visa application PDF. Okay, all of this, if you do this now, because you have access to that information, is going to save you time when you arrive in Cardiff Met and when you start to enroll. Okay, you'll also need to upload your share code. So the share code is your way of evidencing that you have a student visa for the UK. Okay, and that can be found on your UKVI account. Do make sure that you've got your share code as well when you are traveling. The airline or the airport may need that as well. And then please arrive in time for our, oh, it's cut short some of my last point there, but it's arrive in time for our welcome event on the 18th of September. And I'm going to talk to you a bit more about what our welcome event includes a little bit later on. So once you have sorted all of your CAS Shield, you've told the university that you're ready, you might be thinking, oh, I need some temporary accommodation. And that might be because your accommodation in Cardiff, your more permanent accommodation, isn't yet available, or you're arriving sooner than the arrival period, or you haven't found anywhere yet and you're going to start your search when you get back home. Okay, when you get back to the UK, sorry. Because the campuses are closed at night, there is no temporary accommodation available on campus. So we do recommend that everyone that's arriving in the UK does have some temporary accommodation that they've booked in advance, whether that's a hotel or hostel or Airbnb. Okay, so we recommend that you book at least 1 week in advance, especially if you haven't got anything booked after that period. So the university isn't able to arrange temporary accommodation for you, but we can send you some suggestions in advance of your arrival if you're looking for somewhere to stay. Be prepared when you're looking for accommodation that temporary accommodation can be quite expensive because it's short term. So hotels that are of a convenient location, Airbnbs. So just be prepared that those first couple of weeks may cost you a little bit more than you're expecting. So have an idea of what you're going to be spending in those initial weeks, and I'll talk to you about that in a little bit more detail shortly. We also don't have any luggage facilities for storage on campus, so you will need to make sure that you bring your luggage with you. Okay, so the purpose of this slide is just to advise you as much as possible to get somewhere temporary booked if you need to, because you're not able to move straight into your more permanent accommodation. Okay. So you've got your flights booked, you've arranged your accommodation, and now you're thinking about packing. So Important things are always ID documents, so it's your passports, and always bring a paper copy if you can, just in case. It's just for your records, you've got it safe there, and your share code and offer letter. If you've got these electronically as well, great. Just the more options that you've got of your documents, just make sure you keep those safe when you're traveling. A mobile phone. You might want to bring a light rain jacket. You are coming to Wales, you are coming to the UK, so you are very aware that you haven't chosen the UK for our most tropical climate, but we have had some lovely summers over the past couple of weeks, which have been lovely. However, it does get cold, so a warm or thick coat is always a good option. You might also want to bring your laptop or tablet or device. Make sure you've got your chargers for all of your electrical devices and any UK adapters. A credit or debit card that's available to use in the UK. You may also want to bring a small amount of cash, not a large amount, because we wouldn't want anything, we wouldn't that be lost or stolen. And cash is not accepted on campus itself. So any payments that you make on campus, whether it's a large payment for your tuition fees or a smaller payment for your lunch or tea, coffee, etc., that all does need to be done via card. Bring all of your medication or medical notes, as you may not be able to register with a UK GP, which is a doctor, straight away. And we often have cultural events on campus, such as our Global Week celebration. So it's lovely for you to be able to bring, if you've got space in your luggage, a cultural item from your home. So, for example, a craft, accessories, national dress, things like that, that when it's that will make your room or your accommodation feel a little bit like home, but also it'll be a lovely time for you to be able to bring it out during our Global Week or any of the cultural celebrations that you might want to partake in throughout the academic year. And this list is just a suggestion for you. So don't panic if you haven't got any of those things or if you forget something. I'm sure you'll be able to find it once you arrive. But what we want you to do is just try and avoid any additional costs or any unnecessary stress during those first weeks when you've got a lot to try and adapt to. Okay, so that's just a suggestion for you to look at and think about when you're packing. So another question that we have a lot and another conversation that you will get very used to when you arrive in the UK is that we love to talk about the weather. It's so changeable, it's not predictable. So the weather is a very hot topic when you're in the UK. But what is the weather like? So the climate in the UK is relatively mild. We rarely experience extreme heat or extreme cold, but it can be unpredictable, as I said. So the weather in about mid-May is quite mild, and then it gets warmer as we get into the summer months, but our winter months can be quite cold. So as you're arriving in mid to late September, we would expect the weather to be fairly mild, not at its coldest or wettest. But as I said, it is unpredictable. So it's great to have those layers and pack a small light raincoat if you think it might be cheaper back home. But if you want to wait and decide until you get here, then there's plenty of shopping options available in Cardiff. So yeah, that's the weather. So unpredictable is the key to that slide. So you've packed, you've got your accommodation, you're ready to arrive in the UK. What next? So let me just move on to the next slide. So you've arrived, and what do you do once you have travelled through passport control? So as I mentioned previously, CAS Shield is something that the university has used in order to keep in touch with you or your agent. And the next thing Once you've gone through passport control, you don't need to do it immediately. I know you'll be very conscious about getting your luggage and getting on your onward transport, but something to remember is that the CAS Shield process will be waiting for your stamped entry clearance or a stamp in your passport to confirm that you've arrived. If you don't have a stamped entry clearance, or you don't have an entry clearance at all, because perhaps you've gone through an e-gate, then make sure you keep your boarding pass or your ticket to confirm your entry into the UK. Again, it's just proving that you're here, and it keeps our immigration details all up to date. So, as I said, it's just an important reminder to keep your CAS Shield as up to date as possible. And if you haven't got those details to log into your CAS Shield system, then please do try and get those from your agent. So, you've got your luggage, you've got everything, and you're ready to travel to Cardiff. So, traveling, most of you, not all, but will be arriving into Heathrow Airport, which is one of the largest airports in the UK. And getting to Cardiff should be relatively straightforward for you. There's coach and bus options, and the main ones I think are National Express, Megabus, and I think Flixbus as well also goes to the airport, but you might just want to double check that. You could also get a train if you wanted to travel into London initially. So say, for example, you are arriving in the next couple of weeks, way ahead of the start of your course, and you wanted to spend some time in London, you're visiting friends or family, then you can get a train directly from the airport to London Paddington. If you're staying there, wonderful. If you're then thinking of travelling straight to Cardiff by train, you can do so via London Paddington. And that should take just 2 hours. Okay, it's relatively straightforward. It is straightforward. It's a direct train. You don't need to get off. You don't need to change, all being well. But it is the more expensive option. So train travel in the UK is more expensive than bus or coach travel. But as students, you are entitled to some discounts on travel in the UK. So we can talk about that a bit more once you are here. So you're making your way to Cardiff, and you're hopefully, oh, sorry, I've skipped a bit. You're going to be thinking about your accommodation. You're going to be thinking about the upfront costs of studying in the UK. So it's not going to be a shock to you that the first few weeks in the UK will be your most expensive, because you are paying outright for a lot of things. Okay, so things like accommodation, they're big costs to put up front. You're going to be socializing more. You may need to buy cooking equipment. Some accommodation might need you to buy some furniture if it's not furnished. As I said, the accommodation deposit is a big chunk of your payments. You might need to pay some rent in advance, bedding, transport, food. Once you're settled into your accommodation in Cardiff, you'll notice that your spending will start to settle down and reduce as you become more familiar with the local area and alternative or cheaper places to buy and visit from. So as when you go to any new country, sometimes convenience is what you need to opt for initially because it's closer, you feel confident going to those places, but it can be more expensive. So as time goes on, as you become more familiar with your area, as you secure your permanent accommodation, you will find that your bills and your monthly and weekly expenditure will go down, or at least start to settle. Lots of students ask about budgeting, and as you have already applied for your visa, the majority of you will have had to show bank statements to the UKVI. That isn't just for in order to get a visa, that is genuine amounts of maintenance, which is deemed acceptable and realistic for you to be spending whilst you're in the UK. So the UKVI estimate that you should budget around 1,171, which is very specific, per month to cover your living expenses whilst you're studying in the UK. And there's an approximate cost of studying diagram here on the slide for you to have a look at. As I said, everyone's budgets are different. Some people will spend more than that a month. Some people will spend less. But making sure that you do have that money in your account and with you for when you're in the UK is really important. And it's not just to tick a box to get that visa. It is expensive in the UK. And cost of living has been rising everywhere. So it's just being mindful of those things when you are planning your travel and, you know, your initial expenditure and ongoing expenditure. Just a reminder, when we're talking about money, we are a cashless campus. So most places in the UK will still accept card and cash. However, the university made a decision that we just accept card. Okay. So bring a bank card with you if you have one that is usable in the UK. Tell your bank that you will be abroad and that so that they don't block or put any restrictions on your account. Excuse me. And also bear in mind that that is going to be one of the first things that you're going to want to do once you've arrived in the UK. You're going to make sure you've got somewhere to stay. You're going to make sure you're familiar with where the campus is to get yourself enrolled. And also you're going to want to get a bank account all set up. So alongside a banking app, which most banks provide, there are a few apps on your phone or device which we recommend that you have. You don't need to do any of this now. This is just a kind of just some guidance in advance of you coming to Cardiff Met that these are good apps for you to have access to. So a great one to have is like having a Cardiff Met guide in your pocket is the My Cardiff Met app. This will allow you access to your student email, your timetable. You'll be able to upload photographs for your student card and download any letters that you might need to prove that you're a student. We also will be having, it's currently called Met Rewards, but that is due to change. And this is an app that will be given to you once you download it, and we will be giving you a free £12 to spend on campus during your first few weeks of being in Cardiff. So that's a great one to remember to get. But of course, we will remind you of this so you have access to that free £12 to spend on campus. Online banking is a given, so you can make transfers, receive money, etc., get paid into. Taxi bookings are also done via the app a lot of the time. And also if you're traveling by bus, a lot of the bus or train line do have apps for you to use as well. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is just reminding you of your tuition fees. These are the payment dates and the amounts that will be expected of you to pay over the next few months. So these are for students that are self-funding, so not any sponsored students, scholarship students, etc. These are students that are paying their fees themselves, okay? I want to stress as well that it's really important that you do not use a third party to pay your fees. That's really, really important. All of your tuition fees should be paid directly from yourself or a parent to the university, guardian, whoever that might be, but not a third party agent or someone that thinks that they can get you a discount or anything like that. Pay your fees directly. That's a really important message to take away for you today. For those that chose to pay all of their fees up front, you will receive a £1,000 discount on your tuition fees. That option, I believe, has now passed as the deadline to pay has now passed. So to receive that discount, you will need to contact the finance team once you're here in Cardiff and once you're enrolled to get that money sent back to you. Okay. So you've got everything. You're in the UK. You've arrived in Cardiff. You know what apps to use. You know to open a bank account so you can pay your fees. But you need some support and you're wondering, where do I turn? What do I do? So that is where our team are here to provide all of that support for you. So the first time that you will meet us face to face is on our International Student Welcome Day, which this year is taking place on the Saturday, the 19th of September. Okay. And during this day, you will have a welcome talk from either myself or a colleague, and there'll be lots of other opportunities then to speak to other support staff throughout the university, whether that be careers, um, um, our sustainability team. So if you're thinking about getting a bus pass, if you're thinking about you need some accommodation, you need a bit more support or advice on that. If you want to meet our wellbeing team, lots of other teams that are going to be available to help you get settled in Cardiff. But not just that, it will be your chance to pick up your free lunch and your free welcome pack. Okay, so it's your chance to meet other students, other staff, ask questions, and get your Cardiff Met journey started. Um, it's essential to allow you to settle into Cardiff Met with confidence. We always find that the students that attend our welcome day are well prepared for starting their studies then on the following Monday, because they're not doing any of the additional paperwork, enrolment, etc. And they can get straight into their course and get focused. Okay, so if you are available and your visa allows you to travel into the UK in time for Saturday, the 19th of September, we very much encourage you to come along to this day. It's a great opportunity for you, as I said, to meet friends, get to know other students and staff, and of course, our lovely international student support team. But we're not just here on day one. As I said at the start, we are here for the whole of your Cardiff Met journey. Okay. Um, so whether it be you're feeling homesick, whether you've experienced some culture shock, whether you're totally lost and don't know where to go or who to turn to, our team are here. Whether it's things that are campus related, or whether it's external. We've got our lovely team based in the Global Lounge, and an extension of that team is our international student ambassadors. So they were in your shoes not that long ago. They are still current students and they are here to help you. So they are great. They are a great extension of our team to help answer any student-related questions whilst you're studying. So this is a bit of a rundown of the university procedures. Okay, so as I said, you'll confirm that you're in the UK via CAS Shield. You'll get enrolled, and then you might apply for your Met card. You'll want to access your timetable so you know how many classes you've got. And you'll attend your course induction. Okay, so attendance is compulsory and it is monitored. So we've got a lovely team here in our international attendance monitoring team, who you will meet on Saturday the 18th, and they will advise you that as an international student on a student visa, you will need to ensure that your attendance is great. Okay, you'll also want to download the apps that I talked about, and there will be staff available to help you with all of these procedures and processes. So don't worry if you don't remember anything. You will be have lots of support throughout your time. So what else can you expect from your time at Cardiff Met? So we are and we have a very supportive community. We have teams that have your back, so we're here to support you whenever you might need it, from arrival all the way through to graduation. There's different teams and different members of staff that can help you with all of those areas to help you settle and to help you succeed in Cardiff. We also provide lots of day trips in order to explore Cardiff and the UK and make some unforgettable memories, and make your friends and family very jealous back home if you share some lovely photos with them. We also hold our global gatherings, so it's another opportunity for you to meet not only new students but our current students who join our global gatherings, and that's a great way to, as I said, meet other people and also get involved with some activities on campus. We also have immigration support, which speaks for itself, and also academic support. So all of these support services are available to you as soon as you arrive in Cardiff. Okay, so whatever your question or whatever your doubts may be, then just know that when you arrive, there is someone here to help you. But you're not just here for the academic side of things. You are here to have an adventure. So every term we organise affordable trips to some of the UK's best destinations, so you can explore, take pictures, make memories, and experience more beyond the campus classrooms. Okay, so these are excellent. An excellent price point for you to travel and experience different parts of the UK. They're just day trips, so they don't impact on your studies, generally held on a Saturday or Sunday. And as you can see from the prices here, they are really reasonable, and that does include your return travel. So anything that you want to do, for example, in London, if you really want to go to a new museum, or if you just want to try a new food spot, whatever it might be, that is your personal preference, and you'll just need to make sure that you've got the budget to do that whilst you're on the trip. But the travel itself is covered for you. So 3 trips this term between October and December. They are limited. We only have a limited number of space, and because they are so reasonable and open to all of our international students, they are really popular. So we always give our new students the first opportunity to get booked onto these trips. But please do, when you start to see emails or social media posts, then make sure you book on as soon as you're able to. We also have our global gatherings, so from local walks to cultural celebrations, from crafts to coffee catch-ups, there's something for everyone and it's free, okay? So these events will all start at the Global Lounge, which is our home, if you like. So that is where you will find our team and all of our colleagues. That are front facing, and you'll be able to go there and answer have any of your questions answered. But also it's where all of our global gatherings will start. So if you see a global gathering that you want to go on to, some of them are bookable depending on the activity. If it's a craft, for example, we may have limited resource, so you'll just need to book onto that. If it's one of our walk talk games, they are open to all, and they will be starting at the Global Lounge. So you will get very familiar with our Global Lounge and our lovely staff that work within that setting. We've just got some pictures there of some trips, but also a great way for you to get settled is obviously meeting new students, and trips and gatherings are a great way to do that, but also exploring your new home. Cardiff is a beautiful city, and although it is a capital city, it's not one of the biggest. So it's very, very walkable. Lots of our students walk from the city centre to campus. They cycle. And they explore on foot as much as they can. So not only are they getting out and enjoying the fresh air, when it's not raining, they are exploring, and on foot is the best way to see it because you get to see a little bit of everything, and also it's free and it keeps you fit. So do make sure that you explore your new home and your new surroundings as much as you can. As I said, there's lots of activities that go on throughout the year. I briefly touched on our global week, which is a wonderful multicultural celebration that we hold every year on campus. But we also do trips and activities as well. And that's just things that we hold. There are also lots of other societies and events that are taking place on campus as well that you can also involve yourself in to immerse yourself in campus and UK life. So you're making friends, you're enrolled, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going. The next thing, and probably an important thing to think about, is your course joining information and induction timetables. So course joining information is kind of like the your induction timetable, so your initial week, but also any information that you might need from your program directors before you get started. So it might be contact details, it might be names of who to contact in what scenario, what to expect from the course layout, that type of thing. That will be emailed to you shortly. If it's not emailed to you, early to mid-September, it should be available on the Cardiff Met external website. So just drop us an email if you're not sure, but you will be notified as soon as that information is available to you. And then once you're enrolled, your full course timetable will be available on the Cardiff Met app when term begins. So as I said, the 18th of 19th, of September, Saturday, is our welcome event. So that allows you to get enrolled, collect your Met card, and then the following week then is your induction week. So a really, really important week for you to attend. As I said, compulsory attendance where possible, and then teaching then will begin the following week. I've talked a lot to you today. Some things you might remember, some things you might forget. That's absolutely fine. We have an area on our internal website. So once you're enrolled, you'll be able to visit our Int Central area, which is a whole host of information that you're going to need, whether it's in the initial weeks of studying, right up until graduation. There's a lot of information here that you can look at. So there's really helpful how-to guides and videos that will be updated regularly to make sure that you've got the most up-to-date information for you when you're studying. Okay, so all aspects of life as an international student can be found here. Okay, and then I'm just going to move on because I'm conscious that I've taken up quite a lot of your time, is how to contact us. So lots of you have already contacted our arrivals team. So you've been speaking to our lovely colleagues Agnieszka and Marie, and you have they've been answering any of your questions about, pre-arrival, accommodation, etc. But once you're here, that support doesn't go away. The email address just changes. So here is our contact details. If you're not already, please do follow our Instagram page at cmet.global.lounge. Make sure you follow our videos on YouTube. So we've got a Cardiff Met Global Student Advisory YouTube channel where this video will appear in hopefully the next few days. And we've also got obviously our telephone number, email address, and where to find us once you arrive in Cardiff in the coming weeks. So that is all of our contact details. Okay, so that's it from me. You're probably you've had enough of me talking to you or talking at you. As I said at the start, the chat function has been enabled. So if you have any questions, please type them in. Send us an email later on today if there's anything that you think of, and we will do our best to answer as quickly as we can. I will stay on the line until the questions stop. But if you don't have any questions, then thank you so much for joining. That is the end of our webinar. And then, yeah, we look forward to welcoming you in the UK very, very soon. My name is Jo, and yeah, safe flights. I hope your visa applications, if they haven't already come through, you get your outcome very soon and you can start to get excited, start packing, um, and having your farewell celebrations with your family and friends. And yeah, looking forward to your starting your new journey in Cardiff. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to pop into the chat box to see if anything has come through. Apologies, my screen is very delayed.
Hi, Joe. I don't think I can see any questions from our side, just to let you know.
Oh, thanks, Marie. Okay, lovely. Well, there's no questions at the moment, which is great. But as I said, please do email our international arrival inbox. Um, Pop any questions that you may have on CAS Shield, if there's anything CAS related or immigration related, to keep us updated with your whereabouts and your visa outcomes. And yeah, we look forward to meeting you really, really soon. Thanks all. Bye.